Hey everybody, welcome back. Today's episode, I thought I'd take a real quick, make a little quick video. I should say, not take a quick video. I'm going to make a video. Kind of addressing something a little different, like detail drawing, and veins is basically what we're going to be drawing today. So as I talk here, I'm just going to quickly sketch out an arm. I'm not going to go too elaborate in the anatomy, just try to keep it as simple and basic as I can. That way we can get right into the veins. Now, something that really helps when working with veins. And I should note as well, what I'm going to show you guys and girls out there is not necessarily the most awesome way to draw them, but maybe a different way to think about it than you normally have. Or maybe you're just having complications and you'd like to add them in your big muscle men or your big Amazon women and stuff. Or maybe somebody's just freaking out in a comic book you're drawing or something like that. But, veins got their place, they show emotion and stuff. And any little bit helps. So give them big old booby pecs. Okay, so we'll say that's the arm. Now, normally, like as I would draw, you guys, I've just been drawing like normal here. What I would do next, where I would kind of guess where I want my veins. Now, a good way to think about it is basically just do this like kind of snaking pattern like that, and then do like another line like this over top of it. You don't want to go too thick with it, and that's essentially what you're looking for. Next, I'd probably go in there, maybe erase a couple spots, and then you could go in there and like make it branch off in other directions and stuff. I'd recommend looking at bodybuilding magazines. A lot of those guys and girls out there, they're all loaded up. Sorry if you guys can hear Zelda in the background. Shh. Yeah. Okay, so after I would do that, the next step I would kind of do is kind of like erase it some more. Just like this. So you can see little spots kind of around it. Because it looks better this way. In my eyes, anyway. It looks better when it's got openings like that. When we get to the next step, which would be adding lighting to it to make it really pop. So that's the idea of what I'm trying to do. I don't really do it like that. You'll see me here. What I'm going to do is, if you ever look at bodybuilders, they have like this. Usually there's like a vein that'll pop up here, go over the bicep, and kind of dances around. Then your forearms are just caked with veins. So what I kind of do is kind of that rough shape there, put it in there, but I'll like stop pressing on whatever tool you're using. So in this case, the tablet, or if you guys are using pens and pencils out there, you just kind of like lift up off the pencil there. Just you know where you're going to be drawing. What it's doing is it's just breaking things up a bit. And that's about it. So let's say that was basically the only vein there. We'll add another one down here. Just to, help you guys out there. We have some connection points and stuff. So we'll say there, I got my veins in there. I know where I'm going to go. What the hell? Throw some more in there. Now I'm going to grab my, let me just lower the opacity here. I'm just going to, oh, sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Next, what I would do is establish where my light source is. So we'll keep it simple. We'll say the light's coming from this direction here. Okay? And you guys remember usually what I tell you about line weights, how it'll really help sing and sell this a little bit here. So let's just kind of draw, a shoulder. Just being careful where my veins already are that I've already kind of drawn in there. Now here's a really cool area here. Whenever you get it like around the skin, just kind of like if you had like this little bubble thing, it helps sell the fact that it's a 3D object, and it makes it look like it's actually popping around the form. And most people have seen veins in their life. So they'll kind of know without really you saying much that that's a vein, and that's why it's doing that. Now this is where it gets real cool. So let me just kind of redraw the vein that I had in there. If you're using pressure sensitivity, that's cool. Don't get too crazy with it just yet, because that's the next thing we're going to add to it. That's going to help it really pop. Now let's get this vein going. Give him another one kind of going up like that. We'll do another one there. Okay, so let's say bang, there's our veins, okay? Now it looks kind of flat, it might look a little weird, right? Because there's no lighting going on. However, this is basically where it sells itself. You know where your light's going to be. So wherever light isn't hitting, you just darken it up. So here it'd be darker, here it'd be darker, all under there is darker. This side's going to get darker. Careful where the light's hitting it. Down like that. This takes a little bit of practice, but the thinking that you're doing, or that I'm hoping you can try to do when you're doing this, is the exact same way that you should be probably thinking about doing your line weights anyway. Wherever light isn't hitting it, that's where the shadow should be. That would basically be it. Now the next step, what I would do is, again, with the line weight. So the shoulder's kind of going underneath the vein like that, going underneath the vein. Just added some more spots here. All in there to be darker, darker. And, you know, if you were to go in there and actually start rendering this stuff out, let me just start getting some heavy blacks going here, just to help you guys visualize it a little bit better. Just fill this guy with black there. Get this other side going. Fill her with black there. Okay, so there you go. So you'd start going in here, you know, and just kind of pulling the shadows in there so it connects there. Hopefully you guys can see it popping a little bit more like that. I mean, if you ever feel like you got too much lines, you can always erase, or in my case, just switch it to white. You kind of just draw over it, just to help thin lines out, or maybe push the veins back into the skin a little bit more, so they're not so abrasive. You know, they're not like in your face as much. Now the next real crazy part would be this isn't going to be for everybody, but this is for those of you that like to do some rendering and stuff. You know, I'm just going to throw in a lot of rendering here. So we'll start here again, still using the same light source, but stopping at the vein. It's going to get thicker because it's getting further away from light source. But this is where it gets real cool. You can also just kind of keep rendering through the vein like that. And what it does is it makes the vein pop out even more. Just keep rendering it up there. So if I just zoom out a little bit, hopefully you guys can kind of see where I'm going with this. Yeah, so I mean, like, even when he had his booby pecs or whatever going on here. Now, the thing is, once you kind of have this down pat, you can just start throwing it wherever you want, right? So, again, let's go to white or eraser if you wanted to. I'm just going to throw in another one. And then you can get in there and start putting in your shadows and stuff. Now, some artists, what they like to do, I forget his name, he works for Marvel, I believe. What he does is, he'll even go in there and take it to the next level where it's like, he'll kind of start doing this kind of shape inside the veins. It gives texture to it, and it helps make it pop a little bit. I do this as well sometimes when you want just a little extra, you know, rough texture going on. Just make sure you know the direction that, like, think of these like little tubes or something. Just remember the direction that they're going in, because you don't want to start screwing this up. You start screwing the direction up of the veins, and things get real weird. And the other little safety tip I guess I could throw at you is be careful that they don't start looking like earthworms or something. Definitely don't want that. So just zoom out a little bit so you guys can kind of see what's going on. But yeah, I mean, definitely experiment. See what you can get out of what you're doing. Some of you might not have to go this far, but maybe what you just saw helped you think of it a little bit different. So if you wanted to, you could go ahead and start right away and start throwing veins on your characters, your big muscle people, or maybe somebody's in like a moment of distress and they got that vein popping over their head. You know, that little symbol that a lot of anime characters have over their head. You can go ahead there and you can actually texture that out. You know where the lighting's supposed to be, and you can even like. Oh, sorry, that's one thing. I apologize. Not only can you texture inside the vein, you can also each of those lines render out where that line would be. You know, like these little like hash lines like that. And I find that helps quite a bit too. Even in all those spots that we put white, you can just kind of go in there and add a little bit of rendering. And what it does is, I don't know. To me, it gives it again extra oomph or that little extra something that you might want to add to something that you might not normally get. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care. Keep reading comics. Keep making comics, and we'll talk soon. Bye.